an inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept, dial 5 now. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To decline this call, hang...
Hello?
Hello, Alex. How you doing? This is
Hello,
Rudy.
Rudy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. All of my phone calls are recorded, just so you know that. I don't want anything to be a surprise to you.
Okay. I was just calling because they said that you help people show like their innocence.
If you want to tell your story, what I can do is I can record the call, and then your story goes out on YouTube, and people will listen to your story and investigate it, and they'll make up their own minds. If you have any documents to mail me, I can scan them and upload them to our website, Year of Jubilee. But we do advocate for the unjustly incarcerated. That's true.
Okay, because I just wanted to tell you a little something. Like, all right, I had hired my lawyer, right, and then I went to trial with him, and then I had asked him to call one of my co-defendants to testify for me because he was my co-defendant. They dropped his charges and just sent him back to Mexico. But I had told my lawyer to call him as part of my defense. He told me no, that he would testify against me. So later on down the road, once I had fired him because I seen he was working against me, while the Court of Appeals, they granted me an investigator which went to Mexico and got his testimony, and my lawyer was lying.
Well, Alex, if you don't mind, do you mind if we back up and I ask you some basic questions so we can get like a broad view of who you are and what your charges were and things like that? Because if you go straight into the details of how, you know, the witness and the lawyer betrayed you, people may not understand like a bigger picture. But how long have you been in prison, if you don't mind me asking?
I have around 8 years and 6 months.
Wow. Okay.
This call is from a federal prison.
And I was charged for conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine.
Okay.
And you have any other?
Yeah, I do. If we put your name, I think I've put your name and address on the website already, and I've mailed you a King James Bible and Pilgrim's.
And thank you.
Yep, Pilgrim's Progress, and there's another book that's coming your way. I'd be real interested to hear your feedback when you get a chance to read it. Also, if you want, only if you want, I can put your birthday and your arrest date if you want me to include that. So that kind of shows how long, how old you are and how long you've been in prison.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, what is your birthday?
9/9/84.
Oh, that's right. You've told me that before. And your arrest date? Yeah, you gave me that. Okay, very good. And so you were arrested of conspiracy to possess cocaine and distribute it. How's that different than actually, the conspiracy? Why did they have to use the word conspiracy? How is that different than actually just doing it? I mean, it's like you were thinking about doing it with somebody else. I mean, what are they saying you tried to do?
No, it's the government. They created the crime.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I listened to them, and they gave me all these years.
Oh, I see. So I got you. It was like was it FBI entrapment situation?
Yeah, it was ATF.
Okay.
Why did they
why do you think they targeted you for entrapment? Why did they not like you? I mean, why do you think they put you as a target? Because any reason in particular? Or?
No, actually, that's why the whole case is just like my co-defendant that got his charges dismissed, and he got sent back to Mexico. Well, I guess it was his uncle was the CI.
Okay.
And he was targeting people because he was working for them he was getting paid money, and he was working with them to get his son out of prison, setting up people.
Okay, so there was an informant that came and talked about doing all of these illegal activities, and they were the one who committed the crime. And you're saying that this CI had an incentive because he wanted to get his own family out of prison. If he was to set up other people, he would get his own family member released, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. And when's your release date? How long? When are you supposed to be released? How much longer you got to go?
I have about 6 more. 2024.
Wow. Okay.
But the crazy thing is, you had said you seen my video on YouTube.
Well, I haven't watched the whole thing. I need to watch it. It's been so crazy, Alex. Please, just give me some time. But I did find it. I just haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Okay, well, let me just tell you a little something. Well, they did that, my appeal, right? They denied it. But one of the judges said if my lawyer would, after they denied it, they said, well, your lawyer never raised entrapment with this Supreme Court case law, and if he would have, we would have had to release you from your entrappers because the government's guilty of entrapment when it created this crime and prosecuted me for it.
Who said that? Who told you that?
The judge. It's in my, when they denied my appeal, they said if your lawyer would have raised entrapment with this Supreme Court case law, we would have had to release you from your entrappers. But since he never raised the argument, they didn't have to do anything about it.
My gosh, you're saying that's actually in the video? If I go watch that video, I'm going to hear the judge. Was it the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals?
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I was going to send you the packet of my legal papers, and the judge is saying that he says if he would have raised entrapment with the United States Supreme Court case law Jacobson, they would have had to release me from my entrappers because this case should be dismissed. It says it in black and white.
That's terrible. That's terrible, Alex. I mean, they should just let you go. I mean, they're keeping you in there because of a technicality, because a lawyer didn't do a proper activity. It's just absolutely insane. What do you feel about your lawyer? The lawyer, was that your public pretender or your public defender? I mean,
well, yeah, public pretender, but no, he wasn't. I paid him, but he was working with the government because, like I said, I wrote a complaint against him to the state bar, and he answered the state bar saying that the reason why he didn't call my co-defendant is because he would have testified against me, but that was a lie because he never. How do you know what my co-defendant is gonna say if you never interviewed him? Right. And then when the Court of Appeals, because I kept filing against him, like, man, I got screwed, and then they finally granted my motion to pay for a private investigator, which went to Mexico and got his testimony. He said, no, I would have testified for him, not against him, and they asked him a bunch of questions, and it's all in my favor.
Wow. Wow.
So my lawyer was lying, and I had told my lawyer to raise that argument way back then, and he told me no. What was your lawyer? You mind if I ask your lawyer's name? Do you recall what his name was? Rafael Gallego, but this is the crazy part too. I didn't know at the time. They took his license for the same thing, for lying and using deceptive practices against his clients, for using drugs at his client's trial. He's been in trouble for this before. That's why I wrote the course. Like, look at. He was lying and using deceptive practices against me by telling me that my co-defendant would testify against me when all that was a lie, and he never interviewed him. And and then like I said, I'm going to send you my paperwork, and you can read it right there. I'm going to highlight it where the judge says if my lawyer would have raised the right argument, which is entrapment, with this Supreme Court case law, they would have had to release me from my entrappers. But that my case should be dismissed. It says it exactly like this case should be dismissed. Wow, I'm gonna try to find that particular portion of the video and definitely send me what you got. I don't think it's on the video. It's in it's in my paperwork where they sent me when they denied it. Okay. That was just the argument when they were arguing in front of the court. I got you. But after when they denied it, he wrote a dissent saying why the government's guilty of entrapment, but since my lawyer failed to argue that argument, they didn't have to address it. So Rafael Diago is no longer a lawyer. He got disbarred for bad practices. He had gotten. I'm going to send you that too. I have a copy of that too, where they took his license for 2 years, but I didn't know when I hired him. He had just got his license back. Oh no! Okay, wow. I didn't know that. Yep. Yeah, he's been in trouble already for 5 factors. For using drugs at his client's trial, he was on drugs, and then for lying and using deceptive practices against his clients, and for he's been working over 20 years, but he's been screwing people. Yeah. I've got no faith whatsoever in lawyers or our judicial system. I'm sure you don't have much faith either, given that you're in this condition.
There was some. Oh, the co-defendant that said he would have testified for you. Do you know his name, and do we have an affidavit from him that you can mail me?
Oh yeah, I have everything. That's what I said. I'll send you that. When the Court of Appeals, they granted my motion because they were like, well, because I've been saying that. I was like, man, use my co-defendant, and my lawyer was lying to me, saying no, that he would have testified against me. But well, they finally listened to me, so they granted me money for because I spent all my money on this lawyer that screwed me. So I asked the court for an investigator. Well, they granted it, sent him to Mexico, got his testimony, and it's in my favor, showing even more entrapment that his uncle created this crime, and I got prosecuted for it, and my other co-defendant that went to trial with me. How is it that he got acquitted and I'm the one that got sent to prison?
Well, conspiracy is supposed to be. You have conspired with another individual, and it cannot be a government informant. It cannot be a confidential informant. So, who did they? If you're in jail and they say that you're guilty of conspiracy, there has to be another individual that they say you conspired with, and they have to be in jail too. But you're saying there is nobody?
No. Well, the other co-defendant, he testified against me because he was looking at a life sentence.
I see. Okay, so there was three of y'all together. Is that true? There was three.
There was five altogether.
Okay. Very good.
Two of them are home. One of them just signed for 5 years, just because he didn't want to fight. He took a plea deal.
Okay, he took a plea deal. Yeah.
Yeah, he took a plea because they were threatening everybody with a lot of time.
Yeah, I understand.
Life and.
Yep.
But I went to trial. I went through everything because I'm not guilty. I kept telling them, and and it's just crazy. It took me all these years to finally everything just started falling apart for them. I got it in black and white that my lawyer was lying to me, and he even changed his story again when they went and interviewed him for my 2255. And that's why I wrote the course. Look, he can't even remember the last lie he told, that he's telling another lie.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. With the interview or the response that he gave the state bar for the reason why he didn't call my co-defendant, it doesn't match with the response that he says now. So he doesn't know the last lie that he told.
Yeah, I got you.
Everything's just been falling apart, and for them, but it's been good because I can show all this stuff now, and I've been. And even like I said, if they seen that my case should have been dismissed, why didn't they just dismiss it?
Right.
If the judge says.
Right.
But
well,
the reason they said that they didn't have to do it is because we didn't raise the right argument. That's
really lame.
I've been sitting here all these years fighting.
Yeah.
I've gone through almost 7 lawyers because. They kept working against me, and they're not trying to argue the right arguments because.
This call is from a federal prison.
Each time I tell them something, like I told them about the entrapment, they're like, no, we know what we're doing. But look at all this time, like the judge said, under entrapment, my case should have been dismissed. I've been saying this, but it's just I can't get the right legal help, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah, finding a good lawyer in this country is it's absolutely impossible, Alex. Hopefully somebody listening to this will feel compelled to reach out to you and write to you. Let me ask you a few more questions, if you don't mind. Are you married? Do you have any children? Do you have any family on the outside? I mean, do you have a support system?
I have I'm not married, no kids, and I have my 91-year-old grandmother. And that's about it. My parents. I just have my grandma.
Okay.
My grandmother.
Okay. No, I understand, Alex. So if people that are listening to this and they're hearing this story, and if they feel compelled to write to you to learn more, you're going to mail me stuff. What can they do to help? And you're in USP McCreary in Kentucky. Are the phones working again? Because I heard they weren't working for a while. So what can people do to help you? And and if you have any. Your friend that probably told you about me, I need him to call me too. But what can people do to help you? What can people do to help you, Alex?
Well, I just want to bring this to light and try to get the justice that I'm supposed to get.
Amen.
I just need
we're going to be cut off. You're in our prayers, Alex. We will pray for you, and we'll publish anything you want us to publish. And I pray that somebody listens and can help you, brother.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, God bless you, Alex. Take care.
Okay, God bless you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's just overwhelming. I mean, it's just absolutely insanity.